is gonna punch you. Hey, what's good everyone? I just landed in Tokyo 24 hours ago. Got some sleep, got some layover therapy, and basically I'm back on the road, gonna be filming pretty much every single day. And you know what, I've been looking around for a lot of information on Japan on the internet, and you know what, to me it seemed like on the internet, on the forums, it still seems like some kind of a secret, some kind of a really hidden gem, or not a treasure, but I would say it's really not discovered well on the internet. So you know what, I will be probably filming every day, if not every second day, coming out with a vlog. I'm gonna be here for the entire winter. So what we're gonna be doing is filming every day, and let's see where Japan is gonna take us. Currently woke up not too long ago, so my pardon if I don't look too good right now in the video, but I'm on my way for a 2-hour walk to the Shibuya Crossing, which is the busiest intersection. You've probably seen it in those Fast and Furious movies. Gonna head there. It's gonna be taking about 2 hours of walk, and I'll be taking you through the little streets of Tokyo to explore some of these little streets. It's really interesting because all these streets, they sort of go from high-rise buildings back into the small buildings, because back in the day they used to be barracks, and then it slowly developed into a larger downtown. Tokyo consists of about 20 or so districts, and over the period of the winter, which I'm gonna be staying here again, we will discover all those districts, most of Japan, hopefully, if I'll get a car. You never know what happens in Japan. And yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff that I can tell you about Japan, so stay tuned and let's go. You gotta love how Japan, Tokyo is set up. You have ginormous skyscrapers, apartment buildings, and then it all goes down into a small, narrow street full of cafes, kitchenettes, kitchens, ramens, and it just looks aesthetically pleasing. Like this street right here is like a typical street in Tokyo. And definitely, if you're coming here for a week, I wouldn't even suggest going anywhere. You can even just get a bicycle if it's in a warm time of the year, and just explore Tokyo on the bicycle, because first of all, obviously, you'll see everything and touch everything by your hands, and just jump on the transit if it's needed. And there's not even need to rent a car, unless you can rent yourself a chauffeur. Otherwise, it doesn't really make much sense, because Japan needs to be seen and felt by a complete and total direct engagement. I don't know how to say that, but definitely a really interesting country. And what makes it more interesting is that obviously government supports small businesses, and the rent for small businesses here is actually not too bad. So every single kitchen, every single ramen, every single restaurant, every single shop is absolutely individually owned. Small business owners are just it's technically heaven for them, because you can just walk the streets numerous amount of times all over Tokyo, and every single shop and ramen place is different. So yeah, I'm just standing here at some random place, and just so you get the idea of how safe this is, it's just a garage that's open from a private house, and there's just a Ferrari standing here. It's not nothing to do with the fancy car, but overall just the fact that you have a fancy car in a fancy house with an open garage. Just nobody even bothers to close it, and obviously that has to do with the fact that there is probably 0.01 or 0.01% diversity in this country. So everyone speaks the same language, was raised the same way, and it's an island. And when you live in an island, obviously it's interesting. You have a different mindset. I'm born 30 kilometers away from Japan on a Russian island, and we sort of have the same mentalities. That I can explain you that it's like you are in a submarine, so you're not gonna go anywhere. If you do something bad, you're just not escaping the submarine at all, unless you escape it spiritually. So I mean, you have with this mentality, you're a completely different species, aside from ones that are raised on mainland. This is one great thing about Japan, is that there's absolutely no diversity. Everybody's under one moral code, and this is why this place is really safe. Absolutely amazing, and I hope and I wish that it stays that way. Toyota Alphard here with this absolutely beautiful Modelista body kit that just looks like a ginormous blade. Looks pretty cool, but I just wanted to show you this house. Just in the middle of those little Japanese tiny house, we have this designer house here. Absolutely freaking nicely looking house. The detail here and everything is just absolutely beautiful. What an amazing house, eh? Yeah. Now, I'm not a big fan, not a ginormous fan of Range Rovers, but look at this. This is pretty well done. Especially the fact that it's technically almost the color of my sweater. And this yellow interior. I don't know if it's painted or if it's reupholstered, but definitely does look like a well done project. Now, if you look at those delicious plastic, realistic looking foods that Japanese are absolutely the best at creating, food-wise and plastic sample-wise, just look at some of these prices. $4, $5, $3, $2.70, $1.30, and that's in Canadian dollars, so even less in US spec. $5 for a typical ramen right here with the best egg, and that's not even discussed. $5 for this. I mean, for those of you who think that Japan is expensive, this is the example of pricing at one of the most busiest intersections in Japan, maybe the world. I don't really follow these specs, but Yeah, Japan is definitely not as expensive as you think it is. Rent-wise, maybe it is, but then it all balances out down as soon as you start looking at food prices, restaurant prices, and technically you're just going out every day, 2, maybe 3 times a day to go eat delicious and properly made food. Of course, it has to be done by Japanese cooks. If you see a Chinese cook in a ramen store, then in a ramen restaurant, then definitely avoid that. Those guys are better at hot pots. Nothing against Chinese. They're you know, they are pretty much the best at what they're doing, which is hot pot. But a ramen, a proper ramen, definitely needs to be done by a Japanese restaurant and Japanese cooks. Actually, ironically speaking, right here in one of the restaurants that gave itself out as a Japanese restaurant, it was fully owned by one of those Chinese sketchy businessmen, and definitely that was the worst experience. Nothing authentic, nothing pleasing, nothing bright, just typical scam, typical low-key restaurant that absolutely didn't give any good vibes. And it happened right here next to the Shibuya. I'm not gonna point it out. It might have already closed itself because I was here last year, and yeah, a lot of things might have been changed.
時が逆行し、消滅する世界、時代が一つ消えていくのだ。私はストーンの真実を知りながら時を遡る。リバース1999、アマ来る。
So overall, I didn't really come for much here today. It was an interesting walk with some eventful finds. I'll tell you about them in the next video, but I didn't really do much research today for any events because, to be honest, I really just woke up in the evening, didn't get to think much, just stood up and went for a walk. But I'll tell you one thing, if you're looking to find any sort of event, there is the Japan only communicates through one social media, and that's Twitter. I'm not sure if it's X right now or it's still a Twitter. Hopefully Elon Musk is not gonna really mess it up for Japan, because Instagram doesn't really solve any issues here. MSN, ICQ, whatever, the dinosaurs from the past don't really work here either. So if you want to find something in fashion industry, any event, you go to Twitter. If you want find something automotive, it's Twitter. If you want to find something of any sort of event, or if you want to communicate with the local Japanese people in terms of anything, you go on Twitter. And that's what I'm going to be using while I'm staying here in Japan. So anyways, stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.
Shibuya